United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ask the recording secretary for a roll call.
John McKay. Here. Ryan Ferguson.
Here.
Jessica Becker. Corey Wilmer.
Here.
Cameron Here. Here. Rosemary Walsh. Here. John Black.
Here. May I have a volunteer to read the mission statement?
Elmwood Valley School District, in partnership with our community, stands committed to maximizing student potential, fostering lifelong learning, and promoting responsible citizenship.
That's correct. May I have a motion to adopt the agenda? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no objection, the motion carries. I'd like to remind everyone that the public comments are welcome throughout the meeting. Please raise your hand, identify yourself, and ask to be recognized. Presentations, there's no presentations tonight. I have a motion to approve the minutes from the regular board meeting held on November 16, 2017, and the organization meeting held on December 7, 2017.
Motion?
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing no objection, motion carries. There's no student representative reports tonight. Administration reports and attendance reports. Any comments on the administration reports or attendance report?
I'm sorry, could you say what reports?
The administrative reports and an attendance report.
I do have a question about on the administrative report. Jim is not here, so maybe he can ask me.
Sure.
We had a meeting concerning CTE, and it was related to non-traditional students. That caught my interest. What is the definition in that regard to non-traditional students? And at that meeting, what were the recommendation changes that they would like to see put into effect?
Okay. Sure. So, financial reports. Are there any comments on the financial reports? Attendance report. John Bell.
The only thing I have for you tonight to keep it brief is that we spent about 2 hours today with the architects and engineers on CapEx 2018 and on CTE. So we'll have a really good drawing for you to see at the January meeting of the CTE design and how it's all played out. Started with visits to Lehigh Valley, CPI, and then Don Flynn and Dr. Lomberger were up to meet with our teachers. Then the architects and engineers have done a ton of work on it. We spent 2 hours today. They're going to do more work before they bring it back next Thursday. They're going to meet with all the CTE teachers again next Thursday to make sure the insides are exactly the way they want them. And then the architects, Delaware Valley, and Pondale Construction Manager, we're also having a kickoff planning meeting next Thursday to start mapping out what the timeline is. We'll be putting out the bid to CapEx 2018 in February. And I think the bids are going to be due somewhere around March 1st. And then we'll be bringing the CapEx bids to you for approval at the March 15th meeting. Don will probably come on the 8th at the work session, talk to you about it, and then he'll be following you. And then CTE will probably lag about 4 to 6 weeks behind that. So a lot of good stuff. And that's it for now. Okay.
I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
Motion?
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing no objection, the motion carries. May I have a motion to accept the bills and payments, which include the general fund, cafeteria fund, and capital reserve fund? So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no objection, the motion carries. May I have a motion to approve the personnel items, including resignations, appointment, child rearing leaves, and change of status? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Hearing no objections, the motion carries. Items for approval. May I have a motion to approve additional volunteers? Patrick?
Motion.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Hearing no objection, the motion carries. May I have a motion for the additional Delaware Valley Adult and Community Education course and instructor for spring 2018? To attach.
Second.
Any discussion?
Water's there. Water's there.
Where's that one? Is that what it is?
I mean,
Hope that doesn't end with CPR.
Good. So. Hearing no objection, any opposed? Hearing no objections, the motion carries. Any in favor say aye. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no objection, the motion carries. May I have a motion for the approval of the concurrent enrollment agreement between the Delaware Valley School District and Johnson College from November 15th, 2017 through June 22nd, 2017? Motion. Any discussion?
what courses are these for, do we know? So they all are CTE courses?
CTE.
All are CTE.
All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Hearing no objections, the motion carries. May I have a motion for the approval of Matthew Adelphio to work with Ryan Cipoletti to complete his practicum experience in social counseling from Marywood University during the spring semester? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Hearing no objection, the motion carries. May I have a motion for the approval to extend renewed listing agreement number 16-773 with Champ Realtors from January 1, 2018 through June 30th, 2018 for the front portion of the Bianco property located at Route 6 and 209? So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Any movement? In your folders today, there's just an update of like number of looks and things like that they've gotten. But we haven't had anything significant yet. We've had people call, we've had people go out to take a peek at it, but no one's made it.
Do we know why? Did the realtors get anything why?
No, they didn't have anything permanent. It was a couple different groups from Jersey that looked at it, but they never divulged what their intention was. Obviously, with 8 acres, you can't do too much, you know. There's still a couple of parcels down the street. There's 16 down the street, 16 acres down the street between Tractor Supply and CBD. There's still 4 acres right next to Sunshine on the other side of Ryan Lane, 4 or 6 acres there. So there's still a lot of parcels there, you know, but we're all in the same boat. None of them have central sewer. And so the marketability is tough.
What's happening with that part? Is it sold or is it?
Yeah, that was all taken care of. That was bought from us by the conservation fund, and then it gets deeded over to the Park Service, and they're going to keep it clean.
What's your name?
8. That's $795. $795.
I'll vote yes on this motion. I think it's the last time. If we have to guess, we have to give someone a realtor that has some experience in commercial properties to, let them have a chance, because this is now going on for quite some time.
And there was a question too about whether it was an exclusive or not. It's not. It is an MLS. I think I told you we could read both locally and in the metro area. And the other thing too is the number. We want to talk about the number at some point, because that's not a number the realtors gave us. That was one that one of our former board members threw out and we put up there to see if we can get any votes with a high number. So that's the thing to ponder as well.
Has Chan made any recommendation as far as that goes?
No, I told him this is what the board wanted to list it at, but we haven't had a follow-up to say, is there time that should we lower it 50 or whatever, because I don't want to talk about that until either, but,
Yeah, I think it's worth a discussion though.
Oh, sure.
Because everybody puts a price on the house, which is about really, a little bit higher than what the market will bear. So it might be worth asking them what they feel based on our market.
I'll ask him for a recommendation, but I don't want to go
Because
further.
in all fairness, I agree with what John is saying completely, but if we've got it priced out of the market, then I'm not going to do anything, you know.
Just don't throw out a number, that's
Don't
all.
make me nervous.
Just don't throw out a number. in public. Yeah, I will call him in the morning and say, based on the environment and comps, what do you think about it, what the other recommendation, and I'll bring it back to you guys.
Question. What is that area involved, the front porch, what is that exactly?
There's 8 acres on the commercial strip of Route 6 and 209,
Okay.
right next to where the Columbia Gas trailer is, right across from O'Connell Pack.
Okay.
So we have 8 acres right there. You'll see, if you go by it, you'll see a chant sign out front.
Any discussion on that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no objection, the motion carries. May I have a motion to accept the 2016-2017 audit report by Murphy, Doherty and Company, certified public accountants? Motion. Any discussion?
I just want to thank Bill for all of the hard work that he put in. Thanks, Bill. It's wonderful to get that kind of a clean audit.
I'm pleased, and I always say this, but I mean, it's not just me, I mean, I've got some very capable staff.
And Rosemary, you were there, right? You were.
In my total fog of numbers and everything.
Okay. I totally understand.
I mean, it was very impressive, the way, they were very complimentary of our district and how we maintain ourselves. It was nice to hear really good things about how we're handling it. But so many districts are not struggling to say that.
But we never be able to get them here the reasonable hours for most board members?
We can,
It's sort of like.
we can, it's just out of the typical business cycle, but,
Right, yeah, okay.
if it can happen.
We're gonna have to plan vacation day for the
Nah,
Might not be a bad idea.
Do that. but-
I was going to come back from it, but I got snowed in there on the cellar.
Yeah.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no objection, the motion carries. May I have a motion for the approval of the resolution pertaining to the 2018-2019 general fund budget of the Delaware Valley School District, as per Act 1 of the Special Session 2016, entitled Taxpayer Relief Act?
Second.
Any discussion?
I just want to know if the new board members know what this resolution is about, what it means.
Go ahead, George.
That was at the meeting the other day, there was a brief discussion about this also. What this does is by law, if we approve that we will not go over the index, we have to do that by mid-January. In this school district, it's typically done in December. And if we declare we will not exceed the index of 3.2%, then we can go through our typical budget cycle that you'll see in the spring. If you were gonna go over that, then you would have to go in a different. I don't believe, plus what's happened, a little bit of good news, even though the rate is high and going a little bit higher, the retirement rate is not going up as high as they originally projected because they received, I think it was 10.25 investment return. So the rate didn't go up as much. And the other reason school districts did not approve not exceeding the index is because you can apply for exceptions, but the value of those exceptions are not as great as they were because the amount of it's based on the amount of the increase in the retirement rate, which is a lot higher in previous years from one year to the next. So there's not a lot of money that, I mean, ourselves, very minimal, but other school districts also. And the other thing is you could get an exception for special ed costs, but ours did not go up higher than, because what they do is they take your 15-16 year versus your 16-17, but then they subtract the amount of the index of 3.2%. Ours did not go up from one year to the next higher than that. So you would not have any good reason to apply for exceptions this year. So doing the typical stay within the index resolution is what I recommend to the committee the other day, or the work session meeting, who was there agreed. Can I explain that? Well enough for the rest of the members.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no objections, the motion carries. I have a motion to approve the 2018 minibus bid, 16 passenger and 1 wheelchair, less traded.
Motion?
Second,
Any discussion?
that bus will require CDL driver, 16 passenger,
16 passes.
anything over 11.
Yes.
So where is it going to be used? Where is that minibus? going?
Well, it's replacing an 18 passenger that they're trading in.
Okay.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no objection, motion carries.
The dollar amount was, the net after trade-in was $57,345. What was good about this bid, the next bidder was $57,412, so it's within a very small range.
Traded, right?
Yeah.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no objection, the motion carries. I have a motion to approve the following board policies. For the 716, integrated pest management, and the 209.1 head lice. Policy number 800, record retention. Policy number 800.1, record destruction. Policy number 801, public records. Policy 803, school calendar. Policy 805, emergency evacuation of schools. Policy 807, opening exercises, and policy 808.1, lunch tickets.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Just for, my application, 803 is still counted. I didn't see anything.
There were none last time.
No, okay. I was making sure that it's.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no objection, the motion carries. Motion for executive session. Okay. Public business from the board. Any other business from the board?
I have something. You all indulge me for a moment? Everybody's out there, been to enough meetings to get this. So, Yeah, well, you all know that I supported Jack as president, and I felt that he was ready to take this step. He has been very supportive of the community and of the students and the faculty. And I think that in this new spot, although he's done very well tonight, he might need a little bit of help. So, except for migraine, for the headaches that we give you, Tom's, for the introduction, please he has to share with all of us for when he does the same to us.
Oh, yeah.
Well, keep you awake.
That's great. Got a Red Bull in there now?
The one thing, when I talked to a lot of our fellow board members, that people were concerned about, is the chat tends to be a little long-winded.
Not at all. This is going flowingly. I got a timer on it.
Okay, we're gonna keep you. Now, I think
Is
that.
there flapjacks in there?
But I think that it's fitting for someone who is gonna be running a meeting and be in your position to have a ballot. Okay? But I know that the school doesn't allow weapons, so there's your gavel.
Thank you.
And if he throws it, no harm, no foul. And one last thing, if all else fails,
Yes.
Robert's Rules for Dummies.
Really? Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. We will, we'll continue on. Any other business from the board? Yes.
I have two things, and they will be unpopular. First, the school calendar. And I know I come every year and say I'd like a full spring break rather than Thursday, Friday, and Monday. The frustrating thing to me is Facebook. I can get everyone to get on Facebook and say, "Oh yeah, that's a great idea," but that's all they'll do. They won't come to a meeting. Everyone feels like, "Oh, I stated my opinion on Facebook. I'm good. That was my civic duty," and that's frustrating to me. So nobody will come and stand with me and say, "We want a full week." I just want to say it again this year that I really would like to look at doing a full week rather than Thursday, Friday, and Monday.
I'm curious because I know families that do take vacations and usually under the education status. So what is your reason for it? If it's not that you're being denied being able to take a vacation, so what is the reason?
For me, if school is in session, my kids are here. I won't take them out for a vacation because that's just my philosophy. If school's in session, you need to be there and you need to be learning. With the 3 days that you get, it just, between when they get out of school and being back for work, it just doesn't, having Thursday, Friday, and Monday just doesn't facilitate actually going anywhere. And maybe it's just because of how we travel, I don't know, being a military family, if we go somewhere, we're going there and we're gonna go all out and do it up, because we take so few vacations. So the little holidays that we get throughout the year, the long weekends, just don't really do anything for us because it's not enough time for us to get somewhere and do what we want to do. It's fine for little short trips to go into the city or explore Pennsylvania, but for us, a full week is really so that we can see all the family and get together with them. So having that Thursday, Friday, and Monday, and I know someone, I couldn't tell you who, but I know in one of the times that this was discussed, the fact was brought up that, well, if we give you Monday off, then you can travel on Monday. Well, that's great, but it's not any cheaper to travel on Monday than it is on Sunday. And yeah, you get to spend a little longer with your family on that holiday, but spring break doesn't need to be tied to Easter. Easter is a Christian holiday. It's not a holiday that needs to be tied to the school. And it's not every school takes their spring break around Easter.
You know, but-
Do I think
But by
that?
contract, we have to be off on Good Friday.
No, I get that, and so it makes it easier to make, for Good Friday, make that spring break, I understand that. But it's just, I'd rather have a full week and not get some other little, one extra day holiday during the school year, so that we can actually take a full vacation to see all of the family.
We have to have 180 days, so.
No, I get that.
Or what are you suggesting? We start school earlier, 3 days earlier, or finish 3 days later, or take something with somewhere else?
Well, I would tend to say, get rid of one of the other holidays that,
We'd have to get rid of 3.
well, yes. Well, not necessarily, because some of the ones that you do fall on, Friday and Monday.
I think the only one that's probably Monday's President's Day, right?
And not anymore.
I was just gonna say.
When we got rid of February conferences.
So I think that those holidays are, you're talking President's Day, Martin Luther King, which are federal holidays. So we run into, and I think it was 2 years ago that we did have a full week off just because of the way the calendar fell and when Christmas fell. And I think that every year, we are given 3 options of school calendars. And I think that we always try to weigh what's best for the whole district, because otherwise you are talking about extending the school year further into June, or we would have to start earlier because unlike New York, we know a lot of, my sister's a teacher in New York, and they get a lot more breaks than we do because they have to go because of regents till the end of June. So we don't have a lot of other holidays built into the calendar. So you're talking about Thanksgiving or the day after, which people aren't going to do up the day after, Thanksgiving. So when you do it the Monday after, which, historic, but I mean, we've had that day off for.
And that's contractual.
Because
We
I
tried
was
to trade to
saying,
get that back. They wouldn't
Yeah,
allow
all
it.
that. So
First day.
I think that there's not a whole lot of days built into the calendar, and while I understand where you're coming from, and I don't necessarily disagree with where, I guess when we get the 3 options, we'll certainly take that into consideration. And usually, I think last year there was one of the options was to have that full week off, which didn't make sense for the other days. The kids would have they would have been going to school like the Monday after graduation and everything, with the way everything fell. So that was,
We used them
or
up.
no, that was because of the snow day.
We used them up last year.
Yeah,
They were there, then we used them up because of snow days.
You know, we had this Friday.
right.
Well, that was Friday, so that's a union holiday.
The other thing, when we did it, and we did it, because I like it too, so, and a lot of people had asked me to try it. We did get a lot of negative feedback after we tried it, that more people didn't like it than liked it. One of the things I didn't realize that was a kind of an unintended side consequence was that all the kids that play spring sports in New England High School, all the schools in Northeast PA that we play sports against take the Thursday, Friday, Monday. So the sports just kept on going. All through that week, we were away on spring break. So we either had teams without kids, or we had families moaning, something in moaning, because they couldn't go away like everybody else because their kids were in sports. And that was a kind of a side thing that we really didn't think about until after it hit us. They kept on playing games right through Thursday. They just didn't play Good Friday or Sunday. There was even games on Saturday. So that was another unintended consequence of the problem for a lot of families.
The other thing from a teaching point of view is that I don't know how old your kids are, but you get into the PSSAs, and a lot of times it would fall right before TSS start. And it's really a disruption when you're trying to prep these kids for the testing, and you give them 9 days off. Because if you gotta get back up into it again, it really is a
The
challenge in some
high school
situations.
hates it when Easter's in April and you want to take a week off because AP exams start on May 1st. So they get nervous. If Easter's in March, they're not as nervous, but if it's in April, they get real nervous. Because they need that week time. I haven't worked on drafts, but I'll bring drafts for you at the work session in January.
So my other thing, and I understand that it's not anything that you all can fix right now, this year, next year, I get it, but, and I already had this conversation with Dr. Bell earlier. This snow day today for me was like, are you kidding me? And I don't want anyone to think I'm like, well, who cares? You should have done it. Look, I understand it's a safety issue, but it has to start somewhere. Somebody has to push the county, push the state, push the townships to do a better job in Pennsylvania at plowing the roads. And I will say, for the first time since we moved here, I saw PennDOT salting roads. I thought I was going to have a heart attack driving behind it. I was like, oh my God, he's salting the roads. And they did a great job getting out today and plowing the roads, and it was definitely earlier than what they had done in the couple of years that we've been here. They were out getting them plowed earlier in the day. And I understand that we're a huge school district, and we've got people that go forever to get to school. And don't get me wrong, I've already looked up the schedules for all the township meetings and all of the county meetings, and I'll be there to complain to them, you have to do something. It's not like this is a new phenomenon that we get snow on a mountain. It's part of life. But the way it is handled in Pennsylvania, and I don't say Pike County, I say Pennsylvania, is horrific. It just isn't done with any kind of urgency that people get to work and kids get to school. And so I just would like to perhaps get the school board to be on board with pushing the county to get better services, to push the state to get better services. I don't know that you can do anything, but I have to say my piece and I did.
I think the biggest thing you need to do is reach out to our representatives, Representative Piper, Representative State Senator Baker, and Representative Brown, because honestly, even the townships, many of the townships are there. I mean, Shoal, I think, has 3 roads that are township roads. David Township there's only a handful of roads that they're responsible for. So many of the roads, even those tertiary roads, are PennDOT roads, and they just don't have enough manpower to cover them. And so unfortunately, like today, where it's still snowing, there's just, it's a tough call to make, because, at 11 o'clock, if you could do a 3-hour delay, there's other days that I'm sure we can get the kids to school by that time. But doing a 2-hour delay makes it really tough, because the roads were still terrible by that time. I mean, when I went to work at 7:30, there was cars going right out on 6209 right in front of me. So, it was a good call today, because we weren't getting buses to go down to Shoal, forget, they weren't getting those kids to school. But it's really, and even at the county level, aside from asking for more funding from the state, there's not a whole lot that they can do. It comes from the state, and that's where, listen, they just raised the gas tax to pay for infrastructure and for plowing and for roads and all these things, and that's where we need to start. So, I know you'll be on it.
Even more, it's even more than that. It's more than just getting PennDOT out. It is the size of our district. And I grew up in a very large district like this too, where you were up a hill this way, up a hill that way, or down in the valley. You can have 3 completely different weather patterns. I remember being, like 25 years ago, when my oldest son was in school. I remember being in Walmart, and it was raining. It wasn't real cold, it was raining, and we heard over the PA system that they were letting school out. And my friend and I barely got up the mountain to get home to be able to get there to get the kids off the bus. So it really is, it's a judgment call. Sometimes, you're kicking yourself in the pants for making the call you did, but it's a call that is extraordinarily difficult to have to make. And, unfortunately, we've had kids sitting on buses in ice storms on the side of the road for hours. In school, I remember that's going back many years ago too, though, where they had to feed them pancakes for dinner because that's how long they were there till we could get them out. So to err on the side of caution,
No, and I'm not saying that
is
safety shouldn't be to utmost, and I know that Dr. Bell takes that into consideration. It's not just that school was canceled, it's more of there is no urgency anywhere in the state of Pennsylvania to clear the roads. And it frustrates me. And I come to this meeting every month, so this is where I'm starting. I'm branching out from there, and I'll get there. I'll eventually get the right person to get my.
I had people calling me today on 17 in Harriman, 9 miles an hour. That guy's coming in from Bluebird. Cross 84, I've been on 17. I was on 42 at the crack of dawn. Before the crack of dawn, I walked the roosters out. There were people coming from Baylor. Guys coming from Bushkill. Every place should be stopped. We need someplace. We never had this problem in New York City. That was gonna work, it's so-
Yeah, I just say, it's the whole state of Pennsylvania.
It's not just Pennsylvania, though. It's New York, everywhere.
You know, I
New
mean,
Jersey was messed up.
literally, you go across the Davis Bridge and the road is crossed. I mean, it's black pavement, it's like, there's no difference between the, 100 feet across the river, and now it's dry, there's still snow, I can see snow. But
Well, there's difference in
There's-
tax.
I was just gonna say, there's a taller taxes.
Yeah.
The quality of salt.
It's just one of those things that frustrates me.
Ally, it's certainly not perfect, but I think you bring up a very good point that we could certainly, as a school board, work with the public to try and go after our representatives to get a little bit more.
It's interesting, being in business, I have to say the mindset has changed. There was a time recently, I would sleep over at my center, so I could open up at 6:30 in the morning for the nurses, the doctors, the snow plowers and so forth. About 3 years ago, major changes occurred. I don't have a need to do that anymore. I don't know what's happening in our hospitals or our doctor's offices and so forth. But I do believe the mindset is changing, because people, once they see that way they're coming, they are accepting that we're not going to have school, and offices are closing, restaurants are closing. Big change. So it's not just a matter of addressing this, but our legislators need to know what the community wants.
Good with that, because people are going to tell you on Facebook. I love Facebook, but I hate it too, because people will get on there and you get thousands of people to rally behind you, but then to show up in person, forget about it. They just, if I go on Facebook and I complain, I've done my civic duty, I told you what you did wrong, and I'm done.
And
It frustrates me, because they won't show up and do
We also
anything.
we don't pay any attention to Facebook. Turns out my subject, doing all of Facebook. So it's still very limited audience there. How to reach those people, that's the children that can attend. But for me, safety comes first. I know it's a difficult call, but I respect the call no matter what it is. Personally and professionally, I do not like 2 hour delays. I would rather see school canceled, because I feel the educational process is definitely interrupted in a 2 hour delay. I may be wrong,
No, you're
I
right.
didn't see it, but
No, you were saying, Casey said that for years,
yeah.
because you never get the 2 hour delay back, snow day you get back, you get the whole day back some other time.
I
Sure, no, you never-
was adding more days, to cover those snow days and hopefully not use them, and at least you get those days at the end of the year. Possibly use them.
Our meeting scheduled for January.
I'm sorry, just wanted to add something to this, as a resident. Having a child in East Stroudsburg district, buzz there is that when there are snow days, it's not so much, although safety is important for students getting to school, the buzz is that, well, most of the teachers come from Scranton, you can't get there. So, I mean, that's another thought of how many faculty members have to travel and commute to get to school from other places that might not be free to go to. Second thing, as a humorous aside, I went to Roll Boys Christian Brothers Academy, and at the time, and the joke was, my brothers, we can't get to school today, we can't get to school, then you have a snow day. Well, their residence was across the street, and it was actually literally an underground passageway. So we had one snow day in 4 weeks. And sometimes it's like walking through Siberia to get from Mass Transit to get to school. And about I had my own frustrating experience with residents with respect to the board. I attended a meeting largely because there was such a large public outcry on Facebook. You need to go and have getting started on this particular given topic for this municipal meeting. Place was packed, 2 people spoke. And I was a little frustrated because not I'm looking for a sensational story, but I'm looking to get out to the public, sentiment of a lot of these people that put their thoughts on Facebook, and then in the public forum, they didn't exercise that opportunity. So it gets frustrating as far as that goes. But I understand you.
So the hope is, as we do more of these leadership programs that we offer in the school, the hope is that young citizens, adult age, they will speak up. That is something we recognized many years ago as leaders.
I guess maybe add a little praise on that one. The leader in me is, right after Thanksgiving, our community, well, right before Thanksgiving, we had the meeting after Thanksgiving. Our community tried to change the bus stop in the middle of the year, and we had a meeting at our property owners association to discuss it. And both my kids stood up and talked about why it was a bad idea to change the bus stop and why they felt this stop was safer. And we didn't coach them on it at all. We just, we want to get a babysitter for what we thought was going to be a half-hour meeting. We brought them with us, and we were having a discussion, and Jackson stood up and interrupted the board president and said, I don't know why you're trying to change something and make it not safe for us. And they both just went into their story and got the other kids to start telling why they didn't want the bus stop to be changed. So it is working, because they use all those skills to convince
Just a little bit of their genes, right?
Well, if all of the communities plow out all of their bus stops this year, no problem. That'll be a plus.
You know, there is one issue to put perspective in Delaware Township. I know Dawn was some of the meetings, I don't know about this particular one, I mean, there's a lot of them. But there was a discussion, because PennDOT had actually contacted Delaware Township about the same situation, the snow clearance on the side roads that they're also responsible for. And they asked the township if they would take ownership of clearing the side roads, because they felt that in their system, the 4-digit roads, like 2001, for example, get the first attention, then the 3-digit roads and the 2-digit roads, that's the sequence. So by the time they get to the side roads, it's at the end of the list. It was discussed at the meeting, and the township felt that because they do have other roads they have to treat, that it would be an overwhelming burden on them to pursue that. So at this point, it's kind of at an impasse.
So where the discussion needs to lead is when you do speak to representatives, you need to transfer those funds. The funds need to become local. I mean, if you look at what Damon Township does, I mean, one of the worst roads in the county is the best maintained, Christian Hill. And that is because of the local care that they put into that. But yes, they do use their funds when they're stretched out. If we can get more money given to local government for these tertiary roads, as Jessica explained, we can solve this problem. But to ask PennDOT, we're not going to money to get more money for local maintenance is the answer.
Dave, you got anything?
But make sure all our constituents are heard. All three.
Theoretically, you work a whole lot better. I live in Highland in New York, and town, without plowing, at the crack of dawn. County did not show up on 97, which is the road that we had to use to get to the township. It was 9 o'clock in the morning. So, we have the county plowing, we have the county plowing, other parts of the highway, and state. So it's once the plows around, they usually out, have the same block.
We have all these, the West is, we have all these different municipalities. And one municipality got some ball out there. We got buses on the road. We got a bus in the beach. When I see it snows, I always go with that bus. I would rather sit here, I'm sure Doug and Bo would rather sit there, keep kids home on a sunny day and listen to all the complaints, and you know what they'll do? They'll have me on Facebook and they'll say, keep complaining, that's great. Your kids got to stay home on a warm, sunny, beautiful day. We messed up. I'm gonna say that every single time, and that's fantastic. I don't wanna say, we messed up, we put a bus on it, no, we shouldn't. So, that's the kind of heat we'll take every day, you know, no problem.
And one of the concerns I have as a citizen is for emergency services. You can have a child at home who needs to get to a hospital. And all the parents who need to get somewhere. This just isn't a matter of getting our school buses on the way. This is a matter of having safe conditions for all of our residents. So it really does need to be discussed. We can't just say this ends because our school buses and our children stay home. We need to have safety for everyone in every aspect of the situation.
Okay. Meeting schedule for January 2018. January 11th, 2018 is the work session at 7 p.m. at the Delaware Valley Administration offices. January 18th, 2018 is the regular meeting at 7 p.m. at the Delaware Valley Administration offices. May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no objections, the motion carries, the meeting is adjourned. At 7:45.
Good job, Jeff.
Julie.
Jack, is it those?
Thank you.